David Bates grew up here on Chicago's South Side, where most residents are African American. One day, the doorbell rang at his parents' house.
Close to 6 police officers came to the door, knocked on the door, and asked to speak to David Bates. My mom said, "He's here, but what do you want with him?" They said they wanted to speak with me regarding the criminal case, and they will bring me back home. Of course, I didn't come home for 11 years later. At homecoming.
His family is sure David was innocent. The police accused him of being involved in a drug deal.
Being in the police station for 2 days, at 18 years of age, going through several sessions of torture, everything from having a plastic bag placed over my head to being slapped and kicked, called derogatory terms, and even threatened with being killed on numerous times. I was encouraged and compelled to tell them whatever they needed to know to get out of that police station.
Because of his forced confession, he was sent to prison. He was released after 11 years and exonerated, but still suffers from the impact of his time in jail. He had a hard time finding a job, and those he said tortured him remain unpunished. Like many African Americans, he thinks Chicago's police can get away with almost anything. Another example, on this spot, a white police officer shot dead Laquan McDonald, a 17-year-old African American. The teenager was hit by 16 bullets, only 2 of them while he was standing. Chicago politicians kept this video clip under wraps for 400 days, fearing racial unrest. Anger against the police is growing among these teenage students.
What they kill him for? And that made me mad a little bit because he was young. And we losing too many young people around here, and that's not cool at all.
We feel like the police another gang now. They ain't better than us. They ain't protecting nobody.
If you're 21 feet near them, they feel as though it's a threat towards them. But that young man was walking away, and that was wrong for them to do that.
A few blocks from their school, David meets Congressman Bobby Rush. He's been campaigning for the rights of Black Americans for years. Both men hope public pressure on Chicago's police will increase and that courts will call officers to account.
When they will start being held accountable for their brutality, for their murder, for the way they conduct themselves in the African American and Hispanic communities, then it will change.
Chicago has always had its dangers. It still doesn't have its social problems under control. Gang crime, police brutality, and poverty among African Americans mark daily life for thousands of families. 31-year-old intervention specialist Terrence Smith knows that from first-hand experience. He grew up on the South Side and now works for the Build Youth program, trying to teach young African Americans not to view the police as their enemies.
You have to understand it from both sides, that we're afraid as a community, as people, and also the officers are afraid to do their jobs because they don't know what could happen, because it's still like every cop is not bad, every cop is not good.
Terrence rejects generalizations, including those about police officers, although last year saw 1,500 public complaints about police brutality. He can't change the behavior of police officers, so he approaches teenagers, like those in this South Side school where he teaches regularly. Some of the pupils suffer from behavioral disorders, being disruptive without noticing it themselves. Terrence and their teachers are trying to help.
Pretty much anybody you talk to, they know who I am inside the school. This is my first time really seeing you. My name is Mr. Smith, Terrence. All right. All right? You looking for me, man. I'm looking out for you. We always try to teach them how to behave and be respectful to adults in any situation. But right now, it's just awareness and be aware of your surrounding, what's going on in your community. Because there's a lot of issues that's going on, and a lot of things that you can stay away from if you choose to, and a lot of things you can get into if you choose to as well. So I think the best thing is the awareness and the choices that you make that can have an effect on the rest of your life real quick.
The pupils like Terrence. He speaks their language. Of course, he can't solve all their problems overnight, but at least he listens to them and understands them.